Hi guys! I know it's been a while. I look so pink. I guess it's just my background. But I wanted to tell you guys about my DAITH and my DAITH nightmare. And there will be pictures, so you know it isn't like too awful bad, but it is a nightmare kind of situation to be in. By the way, I just filmed a tutorial on this. This is going to be part of my two-face look. I had to order some liquid latex, so I'm still kind of in process on that prosthetic. So yeah. So I got my DAITH done in April. I think around the very beginning of April. And I had this cute little heart ring in, and I absolutely loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And as you can see, I don't have that anymore. I got the big old one in. It did really well and everything. It was healing up nicely. I had it for about 3 weeks before my problem. Oh god. Okay, so the DAITH jewelry I had in, and I'll probably insert a picture here. And it didn't close all the way. Like, it wasn't closed all the way. I think it was just about as close as it could get without him having to like take pliers from my ear, which I'm not about that life, so no. So it was healing up very nicely and everything was going good. I had 0 issues with it. And then one day I realized that while I was sleeping it got stuck, and I'll insert a picture of that here. So I noticed that it had gotten just like barely lodged and everything, so I started trying to work it back. My mistake. My mistake. Because as soon as I started messing with it, it started pulling at the inside of the piercing, and it started to swell and get red and everything, and it was very painful. And I got it to where, like, say this part right here is the piercing, like this little space, right? Or is my ear, yeah. So it was like that, and then I was able to get it to where the other side was mostly out, like I was able to move it back and forth like that. But while one side came out, the other side got stuck anytime I tried to do that. So my dad comes down, and he lives directly across the street. I live with my grandparents. And he comes down, and he has these needle nose pliers with the little wire cutter thing on them. So he comes down with the needle nose pliers to try to, you know, fix it, because my piercer was out of town. He was in Florida, I think, and I live in West Virginia, if you can't tell by my accent. So he was out of town, and he wouldn't have been back for like the next 2 days. I even called my piercer, and he was just like, you can go ahead and go to the shop and see if someone will fix it for you, or you can just wait until I get back. And first thing out of the gate, my dad was just like, you're gonna have to go to the ER to get it out, because it's stuck. And I was like, fuck. You know, that was my first thought, was just fuck. Because, you know, these piercings are not cheap. For those of you who do not have them, they are not cheap. And this piercing was, I think, the only one that I had that has actually like hurt, like the process of actually getting it done. I mean, I have a lot of piercings, and I've had like, I have my lip ring and I have my nose done, so I mean, I've had a good amount of experience. I have tattoos, so I mean, you know, needles don't really bother me. We had tried messing with it and everything, and it had just gotten red and swollen and everything, and it was not budging at all, like at that point. So, and so it started hurting really, really bad. Like, it was hot to the touch. I didn't want to just leave it there and get it infected, so I ended up having to call my fiance over so he could take me to the emergency room. And this is at like midnight that I decided to do that, because I was just gonna let it sit, but I couldn't do that anymore. While they were registering me and stuff, I had to explain the piercing to the doctors, like, and to like the people who were registering me and the nurses and all that other stuff, you know, typical emergency room stuff. But they were just like, okay, so what's wrong with you? I'm like, I have a piercing, and you know, the jewelry is stuck. And I went in there and I was like, I feel like such a freaking dumbass right now, having to go in there and just be like, yeah, my DAITH ring is stuck. They're just gonna be, what do you have that pierced for? And I'm like, well, you know, it helps migraines and stuff, and I've had it for 3 weeks, no issues, and it's actually kept my migraines away. And they were like, oh, did like a doctor recommend you get that or something? I was like, no, I saw it on the internet and I wanted it because I like piercings, so I got it, and it's actually helped. But so after going through that conversation about 50 different times, the people come in there, and they come in with these wire cutters, and I'm already incredibly uneasy because, you know, I've had a lot of bad experiences in hospitals and a lot of health issues, and so, you know, hospitals really freak me out. And so I'm already shaking from being so nervous, and by the time they get in there, I'm shaking so bad. And I'm just like, would you guys mind numbing me? You know, I have an anxiety disorder, and, you know, I have Graves' disease, and that makes my anxiety act up really badly. Could I maybe have something to just numb me, like a shot, anything? And they like completely ignored that request. And I was like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. I'm gonna have to do all this with no numbing, no pain, anything. I was like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna die. Because that's where my mind always goes, anytime I have to do anything medical, it's like, I'm gonna die. They start asking me all these questions, again, having to tell people, and then they're like, okay, well, go get the wire cutters. And I'm like, okay, well, this, because the metal wasn't very thick at all, so I was like, oh, they could probably just, you know, do it. But, you know, at the same time, I was dreading it because it was hurting so bad at that point. It felt like someone was ripping my ear off. And they tell me, you know, lay down and relax and everything. My fiance is just like holding my hand, so I lay down, and they're like, what's your name? I'm like, Brandy. How old are you? 23. Where are you from? Da da da. What's your da 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 da? And here they are, they start pulling on it with those wire cutters, and here I'm like, and trying not to smack their hands away from me, because, you know, whenever you're in pain, you want to just get it away, or like whatever is causing you pain, you want it to go away. And so they're like, oh, this isn't gonna work. And that was after jerking on my head like 3 good times, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. This is the end for me. I'm done. Dying. Dead. Done. And so they're like, okay, we're gonna need to get the ring cutters. And I was like, oh shit. They're gonna have like this drill thing right by my ear. Like, what the fuck? My ear is just gonna be chopped off. And so they explain to me what they're gonna do after they bring it back. And I'm laying there freaking out, because the pain was making me anxious because of my anxiety problems, and it was making my adrenaline start, which makes my nausea act up, which makes my anxiety act up, and then it's a nightmare. And so oh my god, so this was a horror for me. I was like, this is my own hell. I found it. So she has them bring the thing to her, the little case, because they have it in a case, and like I think with all these different bits with it and everything like that. And she goes, okay, now I'm gonna need to clip this on your ear. And she clips this little thing, like a guard or something, like onto the ring so she doesn't slice into my ear. And she goes, don't move. I'm like, oh god, okay. Okay. And like that's actually how I was. I was like, okay, just do it, please, just do it. And she goes, look at me. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm gonna do my best to get this done. Look right into my eyes. And I'm like, okay, this is really awkward. I have issues with eye contact to begin with, much less with a complete and total stranger in this kind of situation. So her being like that just made my anxiety even more. And so my fiance is standing right next to me as I have my head turned like this, and I'm scrunched up into a little ball, like just trying so hard not to move. And it probably sounded like I was having sex or something, because like I was in pain, and I was not screaming, but like I had to let it out somehow, like through some kind of noise. This was an ordeal for me, okay? So like I almost broke Matt's hand, because I'm over here and I'm gripping like the other side of the bed, just like, she's like, okay, this is gonna be really loud. So then I have the drill loud in my ear, me trying not to shake, I have the thing weighing on the piercing, which is hurting even more than like them actually doing anything, and because it's just pulling it down. And so I have Matt's hand like this, and I'm gripping it as hard as I possibly can, and he's just standing there like, I don't know how to help, I don't know what to do. She starts drilling. I am trying so hard not to cuss, trying so hard not to scream, and then all of a sudden it just stops. And then she's like, okay. And then she just moves away, and I was like, oh, did you get it? She's like, yeah, I said we're done. I told you I wasn't gonna hurt you. And I was like, yeah, but you kind of lied to me because you did. And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, do I still have an ear? Is it gone? Is it all the way out? Is it done? Is it any better? And he was just like, yeah. He's like, you're okay. I knew you were going to be. So after that, I got it redone. I had to wait about 3 weeks for it to heal all the way up, and then I waited and got it redone. And so this is it about a week through. I still totally recommend the DAITH piercing because it works for my migraines. Now, you had to have it in the right place, but mine absolutely 100% works for me. I just don't get the heart jewelry. Don't do it. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. Or unless you get like the hearts that go like that, like where one like overlaps the other. But mine was just like that. But yeah, no more heart jewelry in my DAITH. If you like this video, subscribe, add me on Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram, and yeah, because I normally do, wow, I guess my eye makeup is running, but I normally do makeup videos and stuff like that. Not really any story times or anything. That's not really ever been my thing. But yeah, if you liked it, subscribe and leave a comment and stuff, and I will get back at y'all later with regular videos. I'm a nerd. Okay, bye!